Okay, so my computer froze up and I lost my recording of stuff. So I'm gonna do this bad boy just so I have some sort of time lapse available. But I lost that 3.5 hours worth of stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Totally a human. Well, you're watching it at a time where I had my first crash while streaming. My computer is not happy. Storing stuff and such. And I will get to see how well it behaves with the different files saving type. I don't know if I can upload MKBs to YouTube or not. I'll find out. Good and bad aspects of stuff. So doing this bit so you got something with it. And I'll have some video file I might be able to work with, or I might have to revisit this yet again. But there's all the stills. I lowered my bitrate output, so maybe that'll help. Let's open some of these files. Live designs. Modified. Open these bad boys. Image, rotation 90 degrees counterclockwise. Save it. 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 Now let's scripts, load files into stack, browse, collect all of these guys, hit OK. Now let's do some display capture. Hopefully these are all in order and such now. My computer freaked out because I had all of these pretty decent size JPEGs in sequence, and I was streaming and recording, and I had a file that was like 4 gigabytes that it was adding to for the recording process, and it crapped out. Because I was also trying to change the orientation of some of these files for future use. We're getting there. It's frustrating because I had multiple issues today. Okay, now let's see if I can deal with this. Edit, transform, or no, image rotation 90 degrees clockwise. Give it a moment. And while I'm at it, I'm going to clean out this hair. Create frame animation. Make frames from layers. 1. Reverse frames. Ooh. That one's off physically. Okay. General sense of space. So here. That down. 1080. Curves. Change this playback. Blow out this bit. See if it has an animated give. That should be good. Save. Size 10:2. On that GIF. And now let's display it. Image. Browse. Desktop. Live designs. 10:12. Tone GIF. It's okay, but I need to darken this actually. Let's see this again. 10:2. Okay. There we go. The snap bit isn't really there. Well, if you want to do paper animation, welcome to do it. I'm here and there on the white outlines. Thank you, Sally. Oh, you're the one who ordered a shirt. Sorry about the shirt issues. And sorry that's taken so long. Unless you're a different Sally Ty than the one who ordered the shirt. You can leave. You don't have to stick around. And sorry for that's happened a couple times. For the printing error, or it's not a printing error, it's a saving error. If something happens with like having large blocks of black and saving it out as a transparent PNG, sometimes it just throws large blocks of black in there. I don't know why. Or large blocks of transparency. It's happened a few times before. Usually I catch it, but in a design like the one that you ordered where it's blocky and a lot of black and white block sections, I don't always catch it when I'm uploading the file to the printing service site. I appreciate your patience. And I don't know when the second shirt will get to you, but the first shirt, you can wear it, do whatever you want with it. You could even try and just fill in the black solid, because it's not a particularly like detailed section of the shirt. It's the sort of one that I would just keep myself, but I feel bad with the time that it's taken. I think medium shirts tend to take longer to print because more people are ordering them. Because I put in an order for a personal shirt on a small size and it has already been, I think it might have already been printed. Where yours earlier today was just in a state of like almost printed. Yeah, I think that must be part of it. And it's holiday season, so there's an uptick in sales of shirts and people printing shirts and such. So, thanks for bearing with me as I was going through some technical difficulties. I don't know the best way to resolve it, other than just being more conscientious of I down my bit rate a little bit, or target bit rate, so that hopefully it helps a little bit with not as much dedication for the CPU stuff as I'm streaming. Because I'm doing everything from the same computer, it can sometimes get a little bit slow or weird, especially when I'm putting a bunch of files into Photoshop at the same time. But let's see, why did you choose to start in the middle and go forward and backwards? Standard procedure in short. There's no real standard procedure in short loop animations like what I'm doing. Because it's a more complex central item, and I'm answering someone else's question. Give me a moment. I'm generally a little flustered and frustrated with the tech side of stuff, so I might be a little bit short in my answers, and I apologize. So I start in the middle because the important aspect of this animation is the eye form. And if I'm animating, a lot of the time, just from my own experience with stuff, I have trouble with keeping a generally consistent width as I'm moving out to shapes. And because this shape is really the most important single image in the animation, I work that way, which is more closely related to how people traditionally work with animation, where you don't just say, I want to have a guy run, and you go, okay, let's start from frame 1 and have him start running. What you do is you have keyframes, and I don't work in the more traditional sense of like large-scale animation where you're working with a team or something like that. what you do is you go like not necessarily midway, but you have keyframes. You have important movements that you hit along the way. And then people come back in and they do the in-betweens, the tweening, the in-betweening. And so I'm doing some element of that, but it's not exactly that. So that's why I started in the middle with this form, because of my own shortcomings in the illustrative elements, as well as the fact that the eye is very important and it's a more complex thing. It's much easier to know where I'm going in either direction than it is to just start conceiving of it. So that's what I've been doing that with all these letters, to get the form well established and filled out, and then retract and then pass the middle. Because all of these are starting and ending with the same still, I need to work from and towards this like at all times. So that's that. To answer your question, Arteminianus, I do not know Loco Dog. It's a more practical way to approach loops in that way, to know where you're going and where you're coming from. Because you're starting back into that. Sorry if I'm short or a little frustrated. I'm upset that I lost the 3.5 hours of recording I had going after I had issues with the scanner as well. And I don't know what's causing the issues with the scanner. I'm not doing anything particularly different. It might just be the length of stuff. I should disconnect that bit. Let's quit that. Let's open up Dropbox and clear out some local stuff. Sync. Choose folders. Where is that live stream folder? Update. And that'll free up like 15 gigabytes or something. I've been taking these live streams and recording them, and it eats up like 3 to 4 gigs per day. And so I then upload them to my Dropbox. But whenever I think to upload them, and I have to upload it anyway. And so I have to wait for the files to upload, and usually I forget about it by the time that they actually are uploaded. I'm testing out a different file format that doesn't have the same restrictions as MP4 is what I was saving before. And so I'll see if I can, I don't know what YouTube will accept, if it'll accept MKV files, or what quality it'll be in. I might just have to hope that I don't have the same issues in the future and maybe make some other adjustments there. The question there, did Fiona Apple have a storyline in mind, or did you have creative freedom? I had pretty much general creative freedom. I suggested some ideas and did some test animations, but the video as it sort of ended up was the general direction. She sent me some works that she liked of mine, talked through some things she might have wanted to include, or stuff just about the song in general, worked from there. But it was pretty open. She was pretty accepting and willing to give me creative freedom, but I like to have some sort of structural thing and not work too far into something without having approval and mutual understanding of what is going to be produced. So I'll do my spiel now. What is it? Have you thought about adding color to your animations? Is there a reason why you like working in black and white? Answered this in the past, but I'll answer it again. I prefer black and white for a few reasons. It's what I had sort of started into, animation-wise. I like the limitations of it, and that it's a little bit more subtle and fragile if you're working in a more limited capacity. I don't really like working in color, because I'm not great at color, and it's more chaotic. Like, I had to take color theory, and I did fine in it, but I did not like that anytime you're mixing some color for animation, it doesn't work well. When you mix a color, you have a finite amount of that color, and anytime you want to come back to it, you have to mix it again and hope that you are doing it in a decent way, shape, or form. So there's more of an automated and calculated process that would have happened for larger scale professional productions of animation for color mixing and stuff like that. But I don't have the time, patience, or energy to invest into that. Color is also more expensive. Thank you, Kat Jubar. I didn't have money to pay for color printing in college or other stuff. I also was working in animated GIFs, and GIFs have their file sizes get very large very quickly, and the more color that you put into it, the larger it gets. And then if you try to limit those colors, then the limitations of the file format become readily apparent. But if you work monochromatically, you can get away with a lot more texture and color and maintain a smaller file size by using dithering. Dithering is a term for, my understanding of the term is pixel organization. It's like color halftone or stippling or crosshatch. You're creating a dynamic thing through a number of smaller pieces that your eye perceives as a scale and value or color mixing. Also with black and white, my work is pretty much only existing on screens, or that's how the vast majority of people are consuming it. And the specificity that people have with color, it gets messed up when you look at a different color screen, because whatever screen you're looking at is going to have a color space and a calibration to it that varies one to the next. And if you've spent all this time and effort perfecting this color with your perceived space, your computer, your phone, or whatever, that translation from one thing to the next is highly inconsistent, and it's chaotic in that way. But if you're working in black and white, regardless of the fact that those colors will be slightly different from one device to the next, the understanding of what it's representative of will be consistent from one screen to the next, because the screen that you're looking at, it has something as black and it has something as white, even if that white is a little bit more blue or a little bit more red, and that black is also the same. The understanding of those extremes and what is black and what is white on the screen will translate from one device to the next. As the saying goes, get it right in black and white, and it's accessible. What are you planning to do next? Do you want to involve it? Well, right now I'm going through the alphabet. So this is I, next is J, then K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Not sure when I'm going to get through those. It'll probably not be until January. Just because I'm not doing them daily. I don't, like today I'm working until 7 and change, and I have some obligations that I do on the weekend with family and live stream or video chat stuff. Thursdays I usually cook with my sister. Not cooking with her tomorrow, but gonna have food with her tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll do a still, and then on Saturday I usually watch a movie with my mom and sisters, and so have that. Do you work on one project at a time, or do I multitask? Depends. Ideally, I'm just working on one project at a time, but if necessary, I'll take on additional ones. I'm still figuring out more of the balance for doing work while live streaming. I haven't had too much professional work in the past like 2-3 months. It's been little things here and there, and they have mostly been smaller scale or still images. And for those, I can just work around, either work after I live stream or work earlier. As far as personal projects, I might mix things a little bit, but I usually tend to be pretty one-track minded. That's the best situation for me. Why I said weird there is, I don't have a pet. I would reveal a pet if I had it, or if I had 100,000 followers. But I also would just reveal the pet beforehand. Be like, there it is. But I don't have a pet. I pet sit sometimes, but have not done that because of my lack of comfort with COVID stuff. Someone did ask me to cat sit, but I was like, I'd rather not. And they were like, totally understand. I also was like, I don't know what travel's going to look like and whether or not you're going to be able to travel. Because they asked me like a month out from start of November. Yeah. I don't have a pet. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to finish this. I like tackling larger projects in sections. And so for this, it's by letter. But eventually they'll all be connected. Any questions on stuff? Oh, I was gonna wait. What was it? What's your camera setup for this broadcast? I have a Logitech Brio that's pointed down this way. That's going to my computer. A Logitech 920 or 930 pointed at me. It's a slightly older camera that doesn't deal as well with stuff, but it's pretty solid for just a webcam. And then those are running through OBS, and I'm streaming from OBS and using something called Yellow Duck to push it to Instagram. I also have, hey Rosa, I have 3 lights. I have 2 just sort of flat USB powered LED lights there, and then a ring light over here that helps to fill in a little bit. It's not the best, but it helps to just get a slightly flatter thing, especially when I'm drawing, because these lights are brighter than this one. And for audio, I have a blue snowball mic that does decently. It's good for like general ambient sound. Do I have any favorite animators or artists that inspire you? Historically, I'm a big fan of Norman McLaren. He passed like mid-90s. I'm not sure. Let me go through the stream setup quickly again. I've got 2 cameras, one down here, one there. It's going into OBS, and then OBS is pushing to Yellow Duck. Yellow Duck allows me to take that OBS stream and push it to Instagram. It's not perfect, but I enjoy it. And I record the stream output that got messed up today because my stream and stuff got my computer froze up, and so I lost that. Um, I'll see how this MKV file works or doesn't. Um, but that's what I got going. Back to animators. Norman McLaren. Norman McLaren. He was an animator, film, experimental film sort of person. He came from Scotland to Canada and did a lot of work for the Canadian Film Board, or the Film Board of Canada. One of those two. I forget the order, but he did a lot of work. It was experimental, taking advantage of the technology that he had at the time, but also the limitations, and he exploited those format limitations to create more interesting works. And so I really like him as an animator / filmmaker. He animated people and did a lot of like sound relationships between the visual. So on film, to have it sync up correctly, you'll have an audio track that's right next to the film. So the film goes out a bit and you have an optical audio track next to it, and it would record the waveform and then be able to read and play that back, because there are issues with playing from two different audio sources for speed. If like one gets slightly goes faster or slower in like a fraction of a moment, then the sound can, over the period of the length of a film, get out of sync pretty easily, and it's hard to then adjust back. But he didn't have money to record audio, so he took the audio track section and just drew it. He just painted on shapes, and that meant that so he was drawing waveforms essentially. So I really like that connection and that sort of using the format to experiment and create new things. Temporary animators, I forget a lot of people's names. I'm not sure what you're saying of the Firma merchandise of your Firma people. Merchandise, what else? Artists in general, I really like Shigeo Fukuda. Oh, the stills. Because I like holding them all together, and I've explained before that the logistics of cataloging and making those available is so much work, and I don't want to do it. It takes a lot of work to share and change, and then how do I price them, since they're original pieces and not reproductions of things. That's just overwhelming to me. And just doing tattoos, right now I'm comfortable with what I'm producing. If I have someone who can handle that I trust, and that they are confident that they can produce things in a way that I will make enough money to pay them for their work, and then I'll do that. But right now it's shirts, and that's enough work for me already. Sometimes prints. This is an eye. Other artists: Shigeo Fukuda, who was not an animator but a graphic designer and general fine artist. Really like him and his work. It's another sort of person who deals with perspective and playing with things that are pretty simplified. He did a lot of graphic work. I really like Lola Dupree as a collage artist. have my friends that I like their work. There's Sam Cannon and Zolek. Those are the people that I have lunch with weekly and enjoy it. It's still so much work to push to Redbubble. Like doing the animations is a bunch. I'm essentially using one of those services for my t-shirts. It's just too much work and I don't have the energy right now to do it. Sorry, I'm being short. I'm still frustrated with the tech stuff. What else? I can't think of her name. I can't. There's a woman that I really like. Her animations there a little bit more chaotic and intimate. She's in the UK. I can't remember her name. I've gotten some prints from her or some drawings. She just was like, "Here you go," and it was like she did a thing where you could get it for like $5, and it just was an original still. I still need to eat dinner. It's not that late here, so I'll go to sleep later. I'm also gonna talk with my friend. Can't I think of her name? Let me see if I have. Or I have no way to easily look this up. Random question: what time is it in my city? It is about 7:14 p.m. or 19:14 if you're on a 24-hour schedule. 24-hour time. Any other? Okay, my spiel time. So, I will see if I can upload the partial file that I have to YouTube for this, but if you want to watch previous streams, you can go to YouTube and search TraceLoops, and there will be like, I forget how many, but a bunch of live streams similar to this, but in full. And then if you want to buy a shirt or some other artwork, there's a limited amount of other artwork and some other formats that are available on my website, TraceLoops at traceloops.com/store. If you live outside of the US, you can message me, either direct message here on Instagram or email traceloops@traceloops.com. I'll be uploading this animation and some form of time lapse of the animation here on Instagram, as well as to oh, you've been watching them on YouTube. That's cool. I'm glad someone is watching them. Sort of throw them up there, and I know it's a lot of time hanging around there. If you want to follow me on TikTok, you can. That's same username, TraceLoops there. And yeah, if you have any additional questions that come up after I cut out this live stream, you can direct message me or email me at that aforementioned email address, traceloops@traceloops.com. See, thank you also for this live stream I saw from you. Definitely going to check out the YouTube ones. It's a lot on YouTube, and they're organized by day with some general descriptions. I think all the alphabet letters are up there, so you can go and check those out. What paper do I use? I use tracing paper. I bought a bunch in bulk. I forget what the brand is. I got 3,600 sheets, 3,900 sheets of it, and I'm still going through those. But it's tracing paper. I'll buy it in reams sometimes, like things of 500. You can find those on Amazon or other stores. I buy it at 12 by 9 because that's what the things come in, then I cut them in half, and I put the hole punches in myself. You watch video. Oh, I'm glad that you're watching them on YouTube. I have mild to moderate. I don't have as much of a following on YouTube, and it's a lot to get through, so I would understand if people are going through. But I try to have a playlist going, so that you could like put one on and just sort of work around it and then skip around if you're interested to see the finalized piece, something like that. There's a solid chance that I will not have anything to upload from this live stream. So, apologies for that. But all the other letters should be up there. I'm going to see if there's any way to try and open up, but I don't think there's a way to open up this MP4 file that I was saving. And I'll see if I can upload this MKV to YouTube or not. Not sure. But I need to make dinner and deal with these files and such. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to give you a moment to maybe throw out any last minute questions. Again, you can go to YouTube and watch stuff. You can email me. Oh, sorry. How long did it take to do this? This one was a slower moving one because I had scanner issues. These usually take 3 to 4 hours. The letter animations, but it varies depending on odds and ends of things. This one straight animation probably took like 3 hours 20 minutes. Thank you for your patience and wait for the shirt and the issues that came about as a result of it. If you want to watch other streams, YouTube, search TraceLoops. I'm on TikTok. Contact me on here, website, traceloops.com/store. Email, traceloops@traceloops.com. Thank you. Thanks for, yeah, the Lionel Cut videos are a little bit more resolved. Those are edited. I do not have time to edit these live streams down. Other than just like a... This is kind of a Twizzler animation. It's twisted. I have like one more Twizzler after this. I don't ever buy them. Alright. Thank you all for watching. Be back tomorrow with a still. Not doing animation tomorrow because of time stuff.